plays a tremendous role in our culture. If we begin to look at in our SVD, from which are the areas, because since it is a national seminar, members from different regions have come, so we need to talk in all India level. If you look at our candidates, those who are coming, many people are coming from Kerala, many are coming from Mangalore. If I take the western coast, Goa, some few are start coming from Mumbai. And then if you take the east, from Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, interior Karnataka, then we have the east, Chotanagpur belt, then we have northeast. And within central India, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, some maybe from Gujarat. This is our pool, resource pool. Our candidates come from these regions. So, if we begin to see from Kerala, if we talk about the ecology of Kerala, as I pointed out, when we are born as a child, we are not born with cultures. But our ancestors, our forefathers, for thousands of years, they have been trying to make a living in the given geography, given ecology, to meet their physical need, food, shelter, clothing, according to the climatic conditions. And also develop social relationship, power relationship, and giving meaning to life. So when we look at, say, the west coast as a whole, we can also separate it, say, Kerala, Mangalore, Goa, and Mumbai. But there is a commonality in the west coast. If you begin to see, the ecology of the west coast is climatically as compared to these are all comparisons. So both have all these, but what is dominating? It's a kind of bird eye view. Okay, so in the west coast, we begin to see it's a kind of a mountainous region. If you begin to see from Kerala to Mumbai, when we go, we cross over our Western Ghats. No? So the Western Ghats runs from Kerala to Mumbai, and the rain-bearing clouds from the end of May onwards, when the rain-bearing clouds, when they come, they are halted by these big Western Ghats, so the western region gets plenty of rain. From June 1st onwards, it is Kerala is supposed to get rain, and Mumbai it is supposed to come on 10th June. And see, we begin to see the west coast is having plenty of rain. So a lot of greenery. And climatically, this region, compared to the east coast, is not very hot. Though it is very warm, humid, but it is not very hot compared to, say, Tamil Nadu and Andhra to Orissa. And values are shaped. This is very important for our intercultural living. What is the worldview? What is the value of the people that are coming from the western region? Say, with a difference, because we need to understand, Kerala has the highest demographic in one square kilometer. The number of people living is much higher than comparing to Mangalore and Goa. Okay, so this demographic profile also plays an important role, competition between people. So with what values do we approach people? For example, people coming from family-oriented cultures. For them, the center is family. But the people coming from the East Coast, for them, village is much more important. And the people coming from the eastern region, the Orissa, Chotanagpur region, clan relationships are much wider. We can do a lot of mistake at the formation house. And as we move on, if we do not understand our confreres who are coming, I am not justifying the confreres who should not move. I think from the time we met in Palda, now me, more than 30 years as a priest, others in different ranges, we have learned from each other. We have rubbed shoulders from each other. We have learned, we have enriched ourselves. But these are all major things which, even though we have been learning, integrating, but as Father Kisara pointed out, at a crisis time, these things come back to us to take decisions. So we need to be aware of this. So the values are affected by these orientations of culture. As I pointed out, dwellings, family types of cultures, family-oriented cultures, village-oriented cultures, clan-oriented cultures, and the values are different. Then second important point, as I said, I pointed out, power plays an important role in shaping the culture. So in our society, in India, which are the dominant groups? And each group, how do they use their power? It's a very, very vital thing. For example, if a particular group is going to assert its power, trying to give that our views, our values has to be the norm, there will be clash. We need to learn. I don't know, I am asking myself, here I am willing to be corrected, I may be wrong, I am still developing my ideas. I am wondering, not any particular province, are we voting, are using our power in the election of our leaders upon the appointment of superiors and others, using these factors? Do we vote as family? Do we vote as village? Do we vote as clan group? Now in our voting behavior, the mentality with which we begin to vote. Now, family, this is our family. Family means, I am talking about not SVD family, the cultural group with which we are coming. Now, this is my family, so I vote for my family group. Or this belongs to my village group, I vote for my village group. Or I begin to vote for my clan group. Now, because I am coming from a clan, these mentalities, are we still there? Or do we move from our village cultural orientation, family-oriented culture orientation, our clan-oriented culture, to society? We belong to a society. We are SVDs. We will give our best. We will give recognition to all. Without, we will rub shoulders. We will challenge each other, but with love, with fraternity, not with value judgments, but we will grow together. So we need to ask ourselves whether this power plays an important role in our elections, in our appointments. This is a very, very vital point. And especially now we are seeing very clearly as the election is coming closer, 2014, in India, how the different groups are playing their power games. And how they are making India like a lame duck, not able to take decisions, not able to go. Same thing will happen to us as a society. If we begin to play our power, pulling each other and trying to dominate and try to put our people, my people, or others' people, us coming from this group, exactly what is happening in the chaos. And inability to make decisions, major decisions, it may happen to us as society. So we will be the sufferers. So we need to understand how these things play an important role in our life. Then we also need to understand in our intercultural living how globalization and culture, which I talked about, they are influencing our life. What values in our intercultural life we begin to live? The lifestyles. Is materialism, secularization, consumerism affecting our community life, intercultural living? We need to ask ourselves. How do we have multiculturalism? Okay. In Europe, in America, the way multiculturalism is taught is very different in India. In India, we have a major groups coming from different regional groups. handle our multiculturalism, we need some common binding norms and rituals. You know, to different cultural groups to be kept together, we need some common rituals. Maybe community exercise like Bible sharing, or evening prayers, morning prayers, mass together, or some sitting together for recreation. Certain rituals we require to keep our cultural group together. We need certain common values and norms. For example, I think we need to follow. If I am in Maharashtra our presence is very different. But if a multicultural members are in my community, I must use some common language so that my other companions do not think behind me they are plotting something. No? So we need to use some common language, some common rituals which bind us together to, for the multicultural world of today. But as we move on, our novitiate, our spirituality comes in, our society's vision, our Nordic vision comes in our novitiate, and later on, then we begin to learn from each other. So if I have to say that all of us, we belong to this, still, that is not correct. We have already grown. We have moved from this to a common, but maybe imperfect. Growth is an ongoing process. It is never unending process. So we have began the journey and we are moving on, and in this movement we are growing and we are learning. We are known as I think Father Francis, my classmate, said, now he is wondering which culture he belongs to. It can happen. If I am now put in Tamil Nadu, I may be a misfit because for so many years I am in Maharashtra. And the people in Tamil Nadu culture, they have so many different things have happened to which I am not aware. So if I go, that's what many of our early missionaries told us. Father Proksh, Father Fuchs, Father Proksh was every time saying, he was very, very hesitant to go back to Germany because he said, what will I do there? The world has changed a lot. Similarly, many of the missionaries we ourselves experience, the culture of our origin is not the same. They have moved on for more than 35 years. Now I am in Maharashtra. And if I am put in Tamil Nadu, I will be a misfit. So we need to keep this in mind. But how our attitudes, our mentalities, at the crisis time, and our use of power, these things again come back to us unconsciously. So this is a very, very important point for us to remember. Then some others pointed out also this aspect of how postmodernism, relativism affects our intercultural living. The materialistic attitude, relativization of cultures. Now we take it for granted our own communities. So we need, that's in that context I said we need coming together, common rituals which binds us together, common programs which I will come to when I come to the mission. No? So these are very, very important for us. And also again we need to keep ourselves intact in our community, integrated in our community, in our maybe a district, in our province, in our national agenda. We need to have an attitude that my culture is not the best. Because there is an attitude that is known as ethnocentrism. That is, the natural tendency is to claim whichever culture it may be. I can give several examples. We had one of our procurators at the institute was coming from Chodanagpur area. I was watching a dance drama of Bharatanatyam. So it was so interesting for me. So I was watching it, and I wanted my procurator to come and see. So I went and called him, come, we both will watch this. He came there and he sat few minutes. Afterwards he told me, Michael, I have a lot of things to do. I will watch, you give me the CD. he went away. Few months passed, he was watching some dance from Chodanagpur area. And he ran to my room. And he said, come, let us watch together. Then I was watching for a few minutes. Then I said, I have a lot of things to do. But what I am trying to say is, every culture, no exception, every culture thinks its culture is the best. Okay, so this is ethnocentric attitude. So we need to develop the skill is an attitude that my culture has richness, which I need to celebrate, which I need to own, which I need to be proud of, but at the same time, my culture is also limited. My culture requires conversion. My culture requires integration. My culture requires other insights. You know, in this context, you know, we may be out of our culture. I said culture is influenced by ecology, but we carry the worldview with us. So when we go there, wherever we go, we not only take the gospel, but we also take our culture along. If this good element of the culture we give it to the people or influence the people, if it is bad also we try to influence them. To give you one or two examples, for example in this campus, we have variety of trees. Many trees are already cut, but still we have a lot of variety of trees. Many people in the beginning, you know, I am this place, I think from 1980 onwards I am here. Sometimes I am out, sometimes I am here. So I have been seeing the growth of this place, and many people used to ask us, it's a beautiful place, you have got a lot of trees. How these so many variety of trees came? I said there are two reasons. One is we have bought the land from Almeida, who was a botanist, who was teaching in St. Xavier's College. So he planted many trees here first. Secondly, we have Father Proch, who was a forester. Now who planted again a variety of trees. So you know, wherever we go, we carry a picture of our culture, that is worldview, and we try to influence the people where we go. So when Father Ritz came to Trichy, afterwards to Vadipati, of course earlier he was in Palda and many other places in the north. But when he came to Trichy, he made that place like a green garden. Because he was coming from St. Wendell area where there is a lot of greenery. Similarly, wherever he went, see the mental picture he took along, he reproduced. So same thing can happen for us. We begin to think, we take good aspects of our culture, also our negative elements of our culture. So we need to be aware that no culture is completely evil. Every culture, tribal culture, I highly appreciate our Adivasi culture and also Northeast culture, which is egalitarian. That is a very important value in the Hindu culture, which is hierarchical in nature, ascribed hierarchy. Now many times people begin to say, church also has hierarchy. But that hierarchy is very different. When we are talking about caste hierarchy, it's an ascribed, that means by birth, somebody is pure or impure, somebody is superior or inferior. So in this cultural milieu, the tribals have something very deep to give us. Now the cultural element. So no culture is completely evil. We need to celebrate, we need to own. But at the same time, we must have that attitude that my culture is limited. I need to learn. I need to integrate from other cultures' insights. So that is very important. Second is, that will lead us to a sense of respect. You know, every human being longs for respect and recognition. You know, in our simple behaviors, if we begin to symbolically indicate, I don't respect you, then you know, the hurt is much, much deeper. That hurt to go, it will take long time. So we need to respect cultures. See here, respect does not mean I agree all what you are doing, but I take it as human. See, we need to interact in the human level. If somebody hits me at my stomach, I will feel the pain. So similarly, if through our words, through our gestures, through our attitudes, if we begin to show not respect your cultural group, they will not forget. You know, I think one of our problems in India, our hurt feelings which we are carrying from Palda onwards, and which we need to cure actually. You know, unconsciously we must have heard, maybe our superiors must have heard, no? Because you know, we are all growing, we are not perfect beings, but we have been hurt. I have a lot of memories of hurt. Now how this group hurt me or that group hurt me. You know, we need to outgrow this hurt feeling. So we need to respect cultures. Now cultural groups. No, I may not agree with you. You are very, very sensitive, you talk very loud, all this. Okay, but there is, I respect you as a human person, we can work on it. Would you please, the way we begin to tell them, see, this is your characteristics. If you incorporate this, you can grow. That way, we can help each other to grow. So respect and recognition. Recognition is in the power sharing. You know, we need, a recognition means we need to give power to the groups. We cannot keep power to one group or only few groups. We need to share power. Because we are a community and we can enrich each other. Now we are limited, we have very many things to give. So how different groups can share, integrate their cultural richness. If we begin, all of us are concentrated in our mission. If the mission suffers, we begin to backfight among ourselves because we begin to, instead of putting our energy to the cause, we begin to be looking inward. When we begin to look inward, then a lot of our own ego comes in. The ego is a very big devil, according to me, in our life, intercultural life and mission. If my ego is the center, then my group, all that inward looking begins to be so much that our mission suffers. So, if our energy is utilized for the mission, the intercultural life can be also become better and life-giving and enriching. So how do we do this? I begin to see the gospel and culture, to which we take as missionaries the gospel, the risen Lord, to the people where we go. In the history of the church, we see the apostles didn't have money, didn't have much education, but they only had the power of the risen Lord. With this power of the risen Lord, they began to ask, who is He? The Gospels were the reflections of this, of the risen Lord. Who is He? They crossed the mountains, they crossed the seas, they crossed the cultures, because they encountered the risen Lord. So the risen Lord, who animates us, the Spirit, the Trinitarian spirituality of ours, when it becomes an inspiring one, engulfing us, then we will be able to minimize our conflicts of the different regional groups, to put our energy for the purpose for which we joined, for which our founder founded the congregation, and for which we are working. Okay. But this mission, as I said, it has gone a long way. We need to understand the dynamics of this mission. So I begin to see inculturation is an important aspect of the gospel culture encounter in our mission. Now, enculturation in India, it's a very big topic. We have written a lot on this, and it is very complex, because some have tried to use the Sanskritic model, and the Dalits have opposed it, And the tribals begin to say, we have nothing to do with this debate. You know, I remember in NBCFC once I was chairing the session of all the pastoral center directors on inculturation. The debate went on. Some of the participants who came with the suffering shawl and Hindu way of thinking, they began to insist we need to add in our inculturation process in the place of cross, O. When that debate went on, one person from Northeast, a Naga, he got up and said, if you are going to insist that yoga, this O has to be in the place of, either in the place of cross or below the cross, all my people will become Protestants. Because for us, this O is only a Hindi letter. Okay, so we see that the big debate which is going on in India, the tribal culture, the Dalit culture, the upper caste culture, and if you begin to look at the population of India, only 6% of the Indian population is Brahmin. They are using the power of their ideology, of their scripture, to give everybody that Sanskrit culture is the culture of India. And we see 14% of the Indian population is the other upper caste, that is Kshatriyas and Vaishyas. But 52% of the Indian population, they are Shudras, they are backward caste. Okay, and 16% of the Indian population is Dalit, 8% of the Indian population, the tribal. And we see within Christianity, we are only 2.3% Christians, but 60% of our Christians are from Dalit. And 20% of the Indian Christians are from tribals. So we need to understand inculturation, the gospel message, when we are talking in India, in the mission, we need to take these cultural groups, how their power is involved in the inculturation process. So in which, if, for example, I see in the history of Indian SVDs, we are known for pioneering works, but mainly from our foreign fathers. Father Wald translated the Old Testament in Hindi. He knew Hindi language so much. Father Proksh knew Hindi and Sanskrit. He studied Indian music. Can we claim anybody we are expert in any language? No. So we need to go deeper. Our mission, commitment in the inculturation, studying languages. No, culture is in the language. Wherever we go, if we do not master of the culture, I feel in Maharashtra, sometimes I am ashamed that I am so many years in Maharashtra because of our background. How much contribution have I given to Maharashtra culture? Now for inculturation. No, so many years of our work, I have not contributed much. Maybe to some other cultures, I would have contributed. So our mission has to be gospel and culture. We need to be involved in studying cultures, studying people's cultures, the dynamics of culture, how cultures are changing, how the powers are involved, and we need to bring these insights in our inculturation work. So we had pioneers and we can continue that pioneering work even now. Then when we come to dialogue, again it's a very, very big area between gospel and culture. Anyway, I am from 2001 onwards, I am the chairman of the Dialogue Commission of the Diocese. There were so many opportunities for me to interact with the Muslims, with the Hindus, with the Sikhs. Tomorrow we are having our training program with the Zoroastrians in Dadar. So when we are dialoguing, it's not, I find many times in the dialogue, a lot of goody things go on. How best my religion is, that is the talk, goes on. Not in an authentic dialogue. For example, in Ishwani Kendra, there was a seminar organized on the prophetic dialogue. You know, we need sometimes to go deeper. We cannot, our energy has to be spent in deeper issues in the mission. We cannot do our mission if we do not have deep knowledge about culture, about religions, about power politics. So we need to spend our energy with regard to all these processes which are taking place. Then similarly the whole aspect of Dalit liberation struggle. I am very happy that as India, we are international. we have opted that we will work for the Dalit empowerment, the constitutional right of the Dalit Christians. If you look at 1950, the schedule which the President proclaimed, only for Hindu Dalits reservations were given. The Sikh Dalits went on the street and they began to fight. We are Dalits, we need to get our reservation benefits. 1956 they got it. The Dalit Sikhs. Then the Buddhist Dalits began to fight for their rights. In 1990, VP Singh government gave it for the Buddhists. But only the Christians and the Muslim Dalits are not given. But according to the Indian Constitution, nobody has to be discriminated on the basis of religion. But the Dalit Christians are discriminated. For example, in the university setup, if he is a Hindu Dalit and I am a Christian Dalit, if there is a post advertised only for SC students, SC candidates, he can get it, but I cannot get it. But if that Hindu, if I become a Dalit Christian, if I become a Dalit Buddhist, I can apply, I can get it. So this is on the basis of religion, the Dalit Christians are discriminated. I am very happy that Vivat International has, as an Indian branch, it has taken up this issue. They went for Morcha the last time. You saw some of the pictures. They were even including John Dayal was sharing with us. He was beaten up. You know, the last Morcha time. And several bishops were also manhandled. So it's a big struggle. But how much involvement of ours? How many people know about this issue? You know, as I said, in Indore when we had the Vivat International, this became an issue and we took it up.